All right, we will go ahead and get started. Start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, agenda adjustments, we're adding in the Medcare board opening. Any other adjustments to add? Okay. Approval of the minutes from regular meeting on March 28th.
I unfortunately, have 4 paragraphs left. I didn't get them finished.
Okay, we're gonna table those at the next meeting. All right, old business, comprehensive plan update, and we have Diane online. Diane, do you have an update for us?
We are making good progress. The planning board should be reviewing it shortly, and it should be to you in time for your next meeting. Maybe sooner.
Good luck.
When they get it roughly drafted, can they send it out email type so we can be looking at it kind of ahead of time?
Absolutely.
Thanks,
Thank
Diane.
you.
Perfect. And what's the projected timeline on that? Is it still hoping for town meeting or?
It's there on a slim prayer.
Okay.
Slim prayer.
Sounds good. Thank you. Water district request for the wells. So I can give an update on where we're at. I had reached out to Diane to see what she had for documentation after we had done some research upstairs. Diane is gonna take another peek and see what she can find this weekend. But we also have been talking with FEMA directly. And Christine from FEMA says she has some documents that we can look into, or she's looking into for us. So we are still looking in progress, but we are making headway.
You got any time frame on that?
I do not.
Can I have the name and contact information on Christine or Christina, whatever you said?
I
Do not have it with me.
say I don't have it. I haven't been talking to her, but
Can you
Carol may have it.
give it to Angela so I can get it tomorrow? Or does she have it?
And I don't know if do you have
Give your
Christine's?
yeah.
Okay. Yep. Yep. So like I say, as soon as we find more information, we will bring that forward.
So Diane has told you that,
Hasn't told us.
Diane has not found a copy. I asked Diane if she had a copy of the FEMA folder for that lot. And she didn't find it in the first place she looked, but she's gonna look one more place to see if she has a copy of it.
okay, just update you on that. I emailed Diane 2 months ago on this with no response.
So I have a response from her today. So she is looking into it, and as soon as I have more information, we'll let you know.
Okay, thank you. I've got this, Angela, that contact information.
Okay,
I will talk to you tomorrow.
okay.
Or who, Christine?
With the wells you wanna do, I wasn't involved with any of that
Mhm.
conversation prior, but it's to replace the.
Is to replace the treatment plant on the lake. Because the water district's lost $1,000 in 16 years. Lost $42,000 last year, all because of the buyout in 2007. Our intention is to put wells on, was Domino's property, Dave Starr's property. We're gonna run the pipe from that into that hydrant. One project that got the sewer department through pump station, pump water up into the reservoir. And we've gone to Susan Collins' office. We've got the money to do it. no cost to anybody. You know, and it's obviously. The water district can't do that.
So with the two wells, we'll have enough to, keep the hydrant supplied if we had.
100%, all we're doing, Jason, is filling residue.
Okay.
2 wells are gonna be 100 gallons per minute. We're only pumping 65 gallons a minute out of labor. You won't even know the difference. Good, and this also includes replacing the asbestos pipe, which is a no-no. We're gonna, as of right now, we're gonna come in first, pipes in ground, you reline them, then when you tap, you shut off, all you guys, you shut off. The plant on the lake is gonna be mothballed and sold that property. Then that money will go into the bank, the account, of the water district. Hopefully, if everything goes as planned, water rates should never go up. It has to be high now, very high in Hudson County. You know, my goal would be lower rates. It would probably take a couple of years after this plan is online. But what we're running into is a lot of the FEMA property wasn't registered in Hudson County. That's what they were working on. They were trying to get it registered over to Hudson County, and we asked for 99 for lease on that property. They can lease it, they can't sell it. Perfect. But as far as items, you know, not interested.
And the other piece that Christine is looking into for us is around the restrictions on whether there can be pumping and drilling done on that property or not.
There's a restriction on those buyout properties that it can only be parking lots and things like that. But it says you can get a hold of the director of FEMA and that is the way. We've already done all that legwork with Susan Collins' office.
Yeah.
Benefit of the town can't, you don't want to get Susan Collins' office and the FEMA director involved. So they're gonna come to the town and say, where's the paperwork? I lost that claim. That's.
You lost more than that. Are you gonna have to go across the ATV trail? For your biking?
Yeah, it's gonna be 10 feet.
You'll have
What are you talking, ATV trail?
the railroad,
Riverbed.
you'll have to get the state's permission, because they own that. If you need any numbers on that, I give you
Okay.
Brian Bronson there, he's the head of the ATV thing,
Yeah,
and he'd be the one that gives you permits or work some kind of thing out.
that'd be good.
mean,
We do
Just
know,
something to give you a heads up, so when everything is approved and all of a sudden that ain't,
what well, any information you give us is gonna be good.
yeah,
What our thing is right now is the lease from the town. As soon as we get the lease from the town, and they've given us permission to drill test wells.
yes.
But Kyle Wood has actually drilled a well down there, so we've done all the testing, and the water is excellent.
That's good.
And the aquifer is supposed to be there, down in Canton. So. I'm all about it.
I know,
That's whatever brings the rate down. I'm
Yeah.
all about it.
Well, that's, you know.
I'll get you Brian Bronson.
Yeah, good. Just, you got my number, just send it.
Well, you know, Ben,
Yeah.
my son, I
Yeah.
you must have his number, I can have his number.
All right, good to go. All right, on to Department of Labor inspection update. So you guys have copies of our extensions that were granted by DOL. We are still working on completing the rest of the documentation that they need for the extended items. As soon as we have those completed, if we have them completed by the extension date, great, we'll fill out the abatement forms. And I believe they're all May 1st. If we get them done by May 1st, we'll fill out the abatement forms and go from there. For the items like hose testing that we know is after May 1st, those we fill out the abatement form requesting the extension again, is what they told us, and we'll just do that. They, the lady I talked to, their standard or most, the longest extension they will grant is a 30-day. So every 30 days, we'll go through the process with them and see what we've checked off and check those things off, and those that we need to, we will do the paperwork again.
The host testing is scheduled for May 17th. They
Okay.
can change the date. Whoever called me and set it up. The one that emailed me was like, what? I don't know who it was.
Okay. That'll be good.
That's number 2.
That's,
Yeah.
I told her there were a couple on the list
Yeah.
that we would be at least 2 out because of just scheduling things in general, getting people to the right place at the right time is gonna take a little more than. Than what we could do, but, and she was very understanding because, it's that way everywhere. Pretty much everybody is having the same scheduling issues with the similar items, so there's not much.
Cause there's very few people that do those items.
Exactly, there's very few people that inspect certain things, there, you know, that. There's only certain people that do some of these things, so we can only have. The approved people do it, so it takes some time. But, they were happy that we made progress, so. We'll take it and go from there. All right, new business, ATV access route. So, we had a session here, right before the meeting, for the board to discuss. And looking at some different options or what our thoughts were on the, on the access route on Staples Hill for ATVs. We had some great discussions, looking at, time restrictions, speed restrictions, signage, if it was approved. So we've come up with kind of a rough idea, looking at a possibility. Our vote, the Board of Selectmen will vote at the next meeting on the 25th. But we're thinking about looking at, if it was approved, to do an 8 to 8 and looking at a possible speed limit of 20 miles an hour. But that's all still up for discussion and, won't be voted on until the next meeting. But we want to thank Brian from the ATV Club for coming in and hashing out some stuff with us and try to
Almost, they don't,
throw some ideas around with us and try to,
I see that was open and I said, I gotta be up there.
yep,
I thought it was just you guys.
no,
Rolling over.
yep, no, it was good to have some,
Well, it's good to have everybody working together.
yep, definitely.
Do other towns have a time limit on their?
Some places, some places do, yeah.
Yeah, some do, some don't, so. So that was kind of our,
Oh, wait, this was going through a residential area rather than a backwoods.
Mhm.
somewhere.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think we, got some good, we had a good conversation, we got some good things moving forward, so. I think we made progress. So we'll bring it to vote next meeting and make a decision. Food pantry electricity. Do we know if Jim and Helen are coming? or-
I have not been told they weren't, but they were here when we said that we would bring it back to the next meeting, so.
Right. all
Yeah,
right,
that
let's,
was part of the discussion that we wanted to Jason here at the next meeting to
Right.
talk about it again.
let's, we'll come back to it. We'll come back to food pantry electricity and give them some time in case they're coming in late. So we have our Medcare board representative's seat is open again. Paul resigned due to not enough time, I believe, too much going on.
Family commitments, he
Yeah,
busy.
family and work.
Yeah,
The next meeting for Medcare is June 12th. At 6:30 at the Medcare building. I don't have the time that they get over, and he just notified me last night that he wasn't doing any further, so I don't know if there's anybody at the department that would be willing to do it. I can correct that at the next meeting, or if somebody in mind that wants to do it.
Not I.
if there's somebody willing at the fire department, I think it would be fitting for. Maybe one of the members to take that on. If there is somebody that has time enough to take it. If not, we can post it and see if we get anybody that's interested. But if you guys want to throw it
It
out.
doesn't have to be.
Right,
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Be just there to have it safe for the town, so.
Yeah. No, I know, I was approached to be the person and I just can't at this time take on one more thing. There's no way. So I'd love to help out. but I can't.
Yeah, so I guess if you guys can bring it up at your next meeting and see if there is anybody, then.
I'll broach the subject at the next meeting and we'll go from there.
Mhm.
Just so we know that we don't have a representative as of now.
And if we get to June 12th and we don't, we can throw it around the table and see who we can have available to try to be there that night. I don't think I
When's your
can.
next meeting,
When is our next
The
meeting?
25th.
our business meeting's the 23rd, and so.
Okay.
Finance, so for your next meeting.
That'd be great. And like I say, if we get to the point of June 12th and we don't have one, let me know, and like I said, we'll try to figure something out on our end, just to make sure we have somebody there for coverage and go from there.
Thank you, Jason.
Let me just want to say, month.
I thought it was monthly. When I was doing it, it was monthly, but
No, I
It seems
think
like
it's
it's quarterly.
quarterly now, yeah.
Change it.
when I was the rep, it was monthly.
Yeah.
But if they just had a meeting and the next one's not until June, it's,
Right.
sounds like it's
Run on
quarterly.
the quarter schedule instead.
Yeah, because the meeting was just last night, right? Yeah.
Okay. That'll work. We'll see what we can find out. And thank you for Paul for doing it. Let's see, that 4 years or more.
More than that.
I don't
I
know.
think it's been kind of-
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been doing it for a while.
Well, very, like I say, big thank you out to Paul Moisen for being our Medicare director for multiple years, and we will see if we can get coverage to fill it and how we're gonna move forward. Good. All right, other business. You have any other business?
Still working with FEMA on Canton Road. The hazard mitigation plan that they sent us as a suggestion is a cost-effective suggestion. We cannot obtain those culverts, particular style that they recommended in this state. So
Go figure.
that's a no. So Andy is now waiting for prices for a 15-foot culvert. He's already talked to Christine about it. and
Why?
I don't know, because that's what they want. And that's what they want to pay for, so let them pay for it. I mean,
15 foot seems a little big to me, but whatever, if that's what they want.
If
it
they
fits
wanna pay
into
for
the
it, then.
How big is the current one?
5-foot cone.
yeah, well. Usable space right now, maybe 3,
Well,
but it's supposed to
Yeah,
be
2.5 maybe.
What's there is 5 feet, whether it's above ground or below.
What's left of it's not a lot, but.
But we did talk to her and we can put the dry hydrant. in
Yes, at the same time.
Good.
Yeah. It will not be under their price tag, but
Right,
That's
but
fine.
at least we don't have
Yeah,
to
exactly.
complete it, let
Yeah.
them look at it, approve it, and then dig it up again.
Start all
Yeah.
over. Yeah,
A dry hydrant.
yep, that would make sense.
so if we ever stop playing Ring Around the Rosie stuff, but it sounds like we're at the point of we need to get either put the RFP out or call or do whatever, because I don't even know what the cost is gonna be on an engineered plan. But we've gotta have it engineered, so.
Yep.
That's where we're at.
And they'll cover the cost of the
They will
engineering, right?
It is in the 184 that were allocated right now.
But before you put it out for an RFP, you've gotta have it engineered so they know what they're looking at.
Right, they know what
Yeah.
the specs are that are being.
Yeah,
bid
that's
on.
the thing, I mean, you
Yeah.
can't do anything right now without. There's way too many steps in this.
No, I understand they want it now, but they gotta understand, we're a small town.
yeah.
There's so many-
Yeah,
Well, and it takes.
I will say
a bit of time to
Andy's-
jump through all the steps, so.
he spoke with someone from American Concrete, it might have been this morning. Who had just. made one for someone else in Oxford County, I don't know who. The cost of the culvert alone was 78,000,
That's okay.
6,000 to deliver it. So.
Oh my God.
That's
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah, I'm just saying, that's what we're looking at.
because if you can't do the rest for the amount,
Right,
we should
that's
be
what they
able to.
said, that, you know, so,
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what they come back with this time and then.
yeah, so
It'll be
anyway,
something different.
it will be, with a whole new set of guidelines.
Yeah.
But that's where we're at, is we are slowly, I think, making progress.
Was that gonna end up being 100% reimbursed by FEMA?
No, they do 75, the state does 15, and that leaves us on the hook for 10. That's right.
Yeah.
So,
It's a lot better than
a lot better
the
than-
alternative.
yeah. Yeah. So. That's where. we're at.
But if it hadn't been on our mitigation plan, it would be you're replacing with what's there now, and
Right,
this is what you get.
yeah, so at the end of the day, we're a lot better off
We're
that,
making all better, yes.
Yeah.
If we can finally.
I was gonna say, yeah, don't need any more gray hair because of this project. So,
well, thank you both for working on that and thank you, Andy, for
yeah,
dealing with the quotes and the phone calls and the research and everything, all the back work that he's done to get it
yes, he did.
figured out.
Oh, he's gonna be on vacation. The end of, the last week of this month and the beginning of May, so.
Okay, yeah. And thanks, Angie, for helping with the submission of the grants.gov stuff. Or whatever the website is.
It's the portal,
Portal, whatever you wanna call it.
and Rob and I can't email them. We have to send it to Angie who says they approve our email.
Yeah.
We can't talk fast, 'cause we're not on the
I
board.
know, is that crazy?
Well, whatever works. As long as it all gets approved, I guess it doesn't matter which
Yeah.
route it takes to get there. Other business?
That's all I had on that.
I can wait till committee.
Sounds good. Approval of the warrants, AP warrant 70, 19,449.26.
Huh?
72, 116, 241.42. Excuse me, payroll warrant 69, 5,538.40. 71, 5,910.07. Can I get a motion?
Who is red?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor of the AP and payroll warrants? Opposed? Okay. All right, public comment?
Oh, and everybody jump at once.
Diane?
I just want to say thank you to Andy and Carol for coming out today in the rain with Jeff Stern is the guy who's helping the Lake Association write its next grant for watershed mitigation. We looked at different sites around the town to see what we want to do, just putting together some cost estimates, and then we'll get that back before the 22nd when we come as a social service agency to talk about whether or not the town would like to put in the warrant a possible support of that grant effort.
Did you guys talk about anything else after we left Staples Hill?
We went over to the road shore, and because they haven't closed up the dam yet, which they're going to close the gates on Monday.
Yep.
But if they hadn't done that, you could walk out and look at what's coming out of those drainage culverts there. And Jeff had some ideas for that, and he knows people at DOT that worked on that road last time, so he's going to reach out to them directly.
Okay.
So really, a lot of the ditching along the side of Staples Hill was the big piece of the work today. We're also have a lot of individual landowners who said they want to do some stuff, which is great. And we tried last year at the end of the grant, 2 years ago at the end of the other grant, to do the upper part of Bonnie Road, which needs some ditching as well. And I can see his face and can't think of his name.
Nate Austin.
Thank you. Thank you. Nate had volunteered in the past, some equipment time and maybe some material time to do that, and then wasn't able to do that at the last minute as that grant was closing out. So we are going to approach him again to see if that could get back on the list for this round. So, but thank you for your time today. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Diane.
No problem.
Sean?
What's your concern by the road show?
Because those two culverts that drain from the swamp, basically.
The
There's
amount
a
of-
tremendous amount of sediment that's coming in through them. And creating its own little delta.
Do they have a plan or they want a plan?
Jeff had some ideas on what should be there. He was talking about several things. The drop off, I guess, because that's elevated quite a bit above the ground, creates quite a waterfall, which has a lot of turbulence that digs holes in the ground, but also stimulates all this bacteria. Anything that comes in with it, it's kind of aerating it and giving it life. So from a technical standpoint, he had some ideas on what that should look like. I don't know exactly what he's going to recommend.
Are you talking for a private landowner? Because I talked to the state 2 years ago about that. Why I'm interested in what your discussion.
Well, when Jeff has a recommendation, I'm happy to share it with you and get your opinion on that.
But is it a recommendation to the town, to the state, like to Curtis Bond?
The town, it's not ours. We said, yeah, we told, well, because it was brought up and we said it's not a town thing, it's a DOT and or private landowner deal.
Yeah, that's what I want.
Right. Yeah, that's not a town effort at all, but it's part of the overall grant.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Diane.
The state has no interest in fixing that, I can say that right now.
Yeah.
Been down there. Goes
All right, committee reports. And then we'll go back to food pantry. Rod, what's the dump like?
Still on
Right. It's got some dumpsters. and-
Yeah.
Got a growing metal pile.
The wire got fixed okay and everything's back in operation from the broken wire?
it. Long story short, when the wire broke, it blew a fuse that nobody,
No vote?
whoever came and looked at it and fixed the wire didn't know about. So an electrician from out of state somewhere came up and said, "Whew, fuse." And it got fixed, so
Okay.
it was
Most expensive fuse known to me.
whatever,
And that's covered by Archie's, right?
I assume so.
Yeah.
Cause they do all the maintenance on the compactor.
Right. Yeah. Good.
I haven't heard otherwise.
Sounds good. Anything else?
Budget's in progress for. We could do whenever we're gonna
22nd.
something.
22nd.
I haven't had any.
Didn't snow this week.
Yeah,
That's true.
no snow, no ice. We're looking at rain, but
I don't even wanna talk about that.
The guys were working on the ball field the other day.
Yeah, they were cleaning up and stuff, yeah. They're just, right now, they're just trying to do busy work.
Sure,
Well,
there's lots of
progress
cleanup
stuff.
Yeah.
stuff.
Well, that's, yeah, it's
Yeah.
just everything's so stinking mucky,
Right.
muddy.
yard's not, I'd like to worry about
They can- Yeah. I mean, I'll really take volunteers to come work
Yeah.
my.
Sean, do you have something?
Yeah, I want to know if Brian discussed anything with Jason about running the line down through here.
I told Jason that we had discussed having a meeting at some point to discuss that. But that was as far as it went.
Oh,
If it was gonna be done in 25, you guys need to get a hold of Carleen now. Grant has been put in by April 26th. If it doesn't get done this year, it's gonna be following, so that's not a big deal. And didn't I email you that?
yes, you,
I texted it.
yeah,
That when we talk about it here, you mentioned getting together and having a meeting to do that.
Yeah, because, you know, the water district has to know about it, put it in our year of engineering plan. Because the water district is gonna be the one, you guys are gonna have to pay the one that's the money. But when the water district does all the lines, they'll continue right up through here, so you can do it. But you guys will be paying for it. we can't go after the money for it and be a fire department project, because the water district can't extend lines to you guys. Because that would be under a rate pay request. But there's money available to fire departments.
So when do you wanna have a meeting? Discuss that.
I'm available, say anytime, even though that, but we're all busy, so.
How involved is this grant?
You guys, best thing to do is email Carleen Tremblay and tell her what your plan is. You want to extend a 6-inch main up to your fire department. Cost you, this office, your water out of that main too. 1,500 feet. That's what you're basically gonna do, because you can't disadvantage community. And I said, you guys need to hire the fire department, plus the town office, need drinking water.
And since they're both emergency shelters, they need potable drinking, they need drinking water.
Exactly. I mean, that's, it's all, one bundle. $500,000 to do, it's $300 a foot.
I heard in my hands.
Well, that's what we're getting, so that's what I say, it's just the extension of our project.
So, yeah. How do they cross one line? Board.
I just forwarded the text to you with her contact info. Although I didn't see your phone now, so. Okay, there you go. We're good.
And they're gonna know, you guys move the fire station up here because it's a full fire, blah, blah, blah. They already know all that information, so I would even, if somebody that's gonna email and tell her your situation. As soon as you can, just tell you guys need to extend water main, not I'll even tell them same deal back up, if you guys want to be discussed, try emails are the same.
Yeah, when do you wanna do it?
Today.
You have a few minutes right after that.
Yeah.
You know, we be done for.
We're in a meeting.
Yeah, we have an executive session right after, but
Well, we usually take it. How quick is your meeting gonna be? Because we usually take a 5-minute recess, so.
Just, if we take 5 minutes, just so we're on the same page.
Okay. that works.
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, Michelle?
There's gonna be field cleanup this Sunday, 14th, on the ball field from 8 to 12, getting ready for baseball season. So yeah, this Sunday, 8 to 12, they'll clean up down at the ballpark.
And a potential tournament on May 4th, the weekend of May 4th,
That's right, that's right,
in-town tournament.
in-town tournament. On, well, 4th with the rain date of May 5th.
Yep. Is that right? Yeah, 4th and 5th.
Mhm.
Mhm.
The tournament is scheduled for May 4th, and then the rain date is on May 5th. And it's just for our teams,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah, at this point, it's just scheduled for our in-town teams to play each other. Exhibition games.
Yeah. So baseball season's underway, as long as it dries up a little bit.
Yeah, as long as we keep headed that
No more
direction.
snow.
You're asking
Yeah.
for a lot. The other thing.
Parks and trails, they did talk to someone about getting cleanup done and on the whole trail so that it will be put back to the way it was prior to the multiple floods. And hopefully better if the bridge is secured, so.
If it quits raining or snowing.
Yeah.
Ever.
2 inches of rain tomorrow.
No.
Yeah.
But they may get put back because they may float back.
Yeah.
You don't know, they may float back where they belong.
Yeah, but then it's small.
There may be a relocation.
Hopefully it dries up. I wanna help putting out fairy houses this year.
As long as they're
The
pontoon
trees.
equipped, you're good.
All right.
Floating pier.
And, office, so I've been talking with Aaron off and on, he's been kind of in charge of the website stuff.
Yeah.
And it's been a continuous struggle with the domain name, and his most recent update is that it is still in limbo. Angela can explain in a little more detail than I can, but we still don't have control back yet of our domain name, so,
Get a new one.
Yeah.
well, that's a process too.
Yeah, name, Canton has been finished everywhere.
He's been doing a lot of like reaching out and trying to mitigate between, but whoever has it now won't talk to him because we don't technically own it anymore. So they have to work through Exponent to try and get communication.
So who
So we still
technically
haven't heard
owns
back
it?
from Exponent yet?
He heard back from her today.
And she needs to contact, because now the domain is with Enom.
Ooh.
So,
Yeah.
I.
It's a registrar,
Enom.
it's a registrar.
Yeah.
So
So
it's,
Liquid Web, which is Exponent, is trying to get it back. So they've been discussing, she's trying to get a
So-
hold of somebody from
Why don't-
Enom.
So. Has he checked with WG Tech too?
I
The-
don't know.
The reason I say that is because they run our email services, which run off cantonme.com. So he should reach out to WG Tech and make sure that they don't have control of it, because they may have taken control of it when they took over.
That I think he has checked with, he actually checked with them first,
Okay,
and then we got the runaround going to Exponent for the GoDaddy, I guess, had it.
they originally had it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Huh? Cause if you stop paying for it, you lose it.
Yeah, that's.
Just because of the inactivity.
And I'm not sure where the renewal email went, because it didn't come to me.
Oh,
So
God.
I don't know where it was sent to renew it.
Yeah, client transfer prohibited. Mhm.
What'd you say?
Client transfer prohibited.
Oh.
And everything's been redacted, so you can't see who actually. Yep. It's a process to get them back. So. At the end of the day. Depending on. If WG Tech has access to the DNS settings. Then they could forward the emails to a new domain. So we could potentially swap from cantonme.com to something else and have the emails automatically forwarded. But if they don't have access to those settings, then it can't be done.
Okay. I'll have him check that.
Yeah.
It's a mess.
that is a mess.
You think?
I've been working on this for months now.
Yeah.
2 months, I think. It's just communication is really tough.
Yeah.
Well, I think the biggest issue for me is if we're paying for the website already, we need to get it up somewhere, somehow,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
quickly.
Yeah. You're definitely good about that.
I will box of paper goes down.
Yeah.
Might be able to get a signature for it real quick.
Yep.
You can come in, we don't bite.
Wow.
And-
Well, Aaron might, but. That was funny.
All right, yeah, I guess if Aaron can do some digging and then. If he needs help, have him reach out, and I can try to help.
I asked him today if there's anything he can, I've asked him that multiple times and then just like.
Yeah.
He's thought he could work through it, using his connections from where
Yep.
he was worked, but he said it's been a lot of stonewalling. and just-
Now, once the domain goes out, it's if there's any, once it gets taken by somebody else, it's very difficult to do that. The only thing is, the Enom use is part of 2000, which I do have contact with, so if he's having trouble, let me know. I
Okay.
can I can reach out to
I
John
think
and
the
see if
answer is
there's
yes,
a
he's
way.
having trouble.
Yeah.
He's having trouble.
Yes, so
We're
there's
letting
no-
you know.
letting you know, we just did.
You
I'll
know.
see what I can get for a contact number and see.
There's your answer.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll see if I can reach out to John and ask him if he still is using them. And we can go from there. Well, no promises, but to have a thing to look at. Anything else, Ange?
Server, migration, we have our migration happening next, Tuesday. After we leave, and then he's actually gonna come into the office to, in case there's any
Finish it
problems.
up.
Yeah, to finish the files.
Good.
Yeah.
And then nomination papers are due tomorrow.
They are due
Okay.
tomorrow, we have 2 out for school board, we have 1 for 1-year select board. And that's it.
So we have a 3-year select board position with no papers taken out and 3 planning board seats with no papers taken out currently.
Correct.
Last social media.
April's volunteer month. It really is, I'm not joking.
Is
April
it?
is, yeah.
it is. April is,
It's volunteer month,
thank your volunteer month.
yeah,
Well,
thank you,
Thank you.
thank you, thank you.
Thank you all.
Yeah,
Thank you to the whole fire department.
So on those notes, community appreciations dinner.
yep. Table.
We can't keep tabling, we gotta do it, just saying,
We gotta pick a date.
yes,
That's the hardest thing.
well, I think we're now beyond the snowstorms,
Yep, just
So-
gotta pick a date for it.
You just said that, now we're gonna do it.
it's your fault. Are we looking at a weeknight or a? I do too,
Like it's
Like
either a Friday or
mid-afternoon.
either a Friday or a Saturday. Yeah, Friday night or Saturday during the day, like or late afternoon, yeah,
well, that's not what I want,
evening.
That's it, afternoon later, afternoon even.
like 4, you think it or earlier? No, I mean. We need input,
I would think evening is easier, because if people have stuff going on, they get it done in the morning, go get
yeah,
done. If they do it on a Saturday, transfer station's open till 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
so, yeah,
5,
Definitely
Or
so
later.
5.
so 5 o'clock on, say. May 18th, I can check and see if the historical.
I say let's pick a couple dates so we have an alternative, just that way.
Yep.
If either the building and or our food plan
Yep.
doesn't work out, we can,
May 18th and 25th,
25th, I'm out, can't.
that's
Memorial
that's
weekend.
Memorial
That's
Day
it is,
weekend.
Yeah,
And
that's,
then,
that's
no,
not the weekend.
no,
Or you can do it first, or
June 1st, let's try that, okay,
Either the 18th and 1st.
yeah. I will check on,
I won't be available June 1st.
8th, June 8th, the 18th or June 8th.
8th isn't good, that's the day after graduation.
Why don't you, if you're looking at May 18th, do the 11th and 18th for your 2 days, or you got stuff going on.
Or is that too soon?
no,
Yeah.
I mean, everyone has. a
As long as
heads
we
up.
can get the right people.
Yeah.
Get the building and the
Yeah.
food.
I will check on both of those,
What was decided for the food?
We're looking at, food house.
thank you.
Okay.
It's like, ugh,
I
down the road.
remember talking about
Yeah.
it, but I didn't remember what.
That was the last one that we talked about.
Yeah.
Okay.
right,
I looked at a couple places and they honestly seem to be the most cost effective.
Yeah, we did some price shopping with a few different people,
Yeah,
and that
yeah.
was, seemed to be
Right.
what made the most sense, and it keeps it in town.
Yeah. So the 11th or the
Yeah.
8th.
Yeah, we'll look into that and see what we can do, and as we get closer, we'll start getting creative with ideas on what we wanna do and. How we wanna handle it,
Yeah.
but we'll try to get the, date finalized this
Yeah,
week, so
if
we
I
can
get
get
it-
it out. to
Yeah, I was gonna say, if I
employees,
get
so
it
we know.
finalized, I'll shoot a group text out to everyone,
Yeah.
just to, so you can let you people know.
Yeah, just so we can get it on the calendar and go from there. Yeah. Perfect.
Because I don't know what you guys are talking about.
It's we want to do an appreciation supper for our town employees and volunteers, like fire department, et cetera. Because of all of the work that they put in during the flood in December.
Employees, board members,
Yeah.
just, and volunteers that put in extra time throughout. The few different crazy deals that we've had the last year, we wanna try to show them appreciation and let them all know. That we, are. They're very valuable and
We'd be up the creek without them.
yes, so hopefully we'll.
You're trying to pick a date.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're working on picking a date and, so we need to look at the building to see if it's available. And then also check with our caterer to see if they're available on those dates and see which date we can pick and then we'll move forward. All right, I guess we'll go back. Do we want to talk food pantry electrical tonight without Jim and Helen here or?
I mean, we did hear from the food pantry last time, so can we at least hear what Jason was
Yeah.
proposing this time?
Definitely.
So with the amount of things they have in there, freezers, refrigerator. I don't know, I feel. I can kick into the electric bill a little bit, since we basically, we have lost that back room. We can't use it for anything. We can use the treatment if we need, but it's not like we have that room available to us. And one thing that was brought up, I remember that today, the Reef Festival, we always set up in the front room. And that's, you never know what we're gonna have for donations, but this year we had almost 100.
Nice.
And that room was packed full, and we were like, well, we can't expand anywhere. That would be the only other place we could, was in that room, but it's not gonna happen.
Which part's a good fundraiser that you guys have?
It's out of the two that they do, it is the best. I think we've been averaging about 3,000 a year on them, so.
Right.
One of these days, when we go back and add up the amount of money and things they bought us,
Mhm.
it was huge.
Has anybody looked for that grant she talked about?
Jason has it.
I have a copy of that, because I heard wind of, it was written into the grant that was always intended.
Yeah, I was
to be
interested to see if that's what
If you guys
actual,
wanna look at it, there's
yeah,
zero mention of food pantry in there.
Okay.
Which,
I can't remember if there's another copy at the fire station.
You can
so
make
if I
copies.
can
Yeah,
get that
we can make
back or-
what year did it move to the fire station?
I think, oh, the food pantry?
Yeah.
It was, I joined the fire department in 2007, and it was not there. I don't remember when the name retired. He let them move into,
Or just scan it for email.
move out of the
Okay.
church. And the closet that's in the kitchen. They had that. And I think one freezer.
Cause that was something she mentioned, and it's like, Rob and I both said, no, it did not originate out of the fire
It
department.
didn't. How much is budgeted here? We budget like 2,500 for 3,000.
Wayne retired in 2009.
And it was somewhere 2008 or 9 when they moved into the closet.
So you budgeted 3,500 total for CMP.
What's that?
You budgeted 3,500 total for CMP.
Do you have the number of what we actually spent last year?
Yeah, originally the room was like that countertop.
Yeah.
A little room.
Yeah.
Now it's the whole big room. Meeting room.
Last year.
you want them?
Last year, you overspent it by $25. You spent 35.25 in 23.
Probably.
35?
What was that one, Brian? Sorry.
35?
35.25.
Yeah. And this budget in 25.
I'm not, I don't know where we stand right now.
Hang on, I have to look at the page.
That was a long time ago.
Currently, currently you had budgeted 3,500 again, and you've only got 759 left.
Ooh.
So you're gonna be cutting it pretty close this year too. 'Cause
It's
you've
gonna be
got-
over again.
The bill averages from, I think the lowest I saw. This year's was like 150 or 70, and it goes up to. Almost 300, I think.
The lowest, you'll actually be very close this year because you've got 759 left. The April's already gone in, so you've only got May and June left. So you'll be close. But the highest was 307, the lowest was 259. 259 was the lowest.
So just the amount of, like, there's 3 chest freezers. 3 upright freezers and the
Big commercial unit.
big commercial refrigerator.
Would it make sense to charge them anything you can hold 3,500?
I'd say let's,
I,
I'd go in.
Give you some.
to me,
Month.
I think it's more of per month, or the budget needs to be redone. Because currently the town is budgeting for CMP to run the fire station, not CMP to run the food pantry. Which, and it's
Doesn't
not,
make any difference though, because it's gonna come out of
It-
town budget anyway.
No.
not necessarily, because the food pantry is not a town entity.
Right.
Yeah, but
So-
look at it this way, I've already talked to Jim.
Mhm.
Jim should go to the solar panel company and say, you guys wanna pay our,
Mhm.
CMP bill? But if you're budgeting him 3,500 bucks and he hasn't gone over it, it's only fair to food pantry to say, pay what I go over.
But what?
Instead
That's-
of,
that's your opinion,
includes
isn't
The
it?
food pantries,
it doesn't make any difference, you guys are doing something good for the town. What's your motto that you got all
The-
the town?
the thing that we're looking at is either the food pantry needs to contribute some, or we need to change how it's budgeted. Change it from, because right now we're telling the town that's what it costs to run the utilities at the fire department. Which it is not a utility for the fire department, it is a utility running the food pantry power, which are two different things. It's in the same building, but it's a different thing. So I'm not saying we have to take it out, let me finish. I'm not saying we have to take it out. What I'm saying is, if we're not going to charge them, I would like to have the line split. X amount for the fire department, X amount for the food pantry. It's being transparent in our bookkeeping. Which we've been asked to
Transparent on
do.
one thing, Brian, and not transparent on everything else.
What are we not transparent on?
I'm not gonna get into that now, I'll get into that one.
I think it would be fair to. To have two different lines. I mean, I wouldn't,
What happens if he runs over his budget then?
I'm not saying anything about running over a budget, but I think for bookkeeping purposes, it's a good idea to have it in two different lines.
You guys are missing the whole thing.
I'm
It
not,
doesn't make any difference, I'm not gonna discuss it.
I didn't say whether or not I felt the food pantry should pay, X amount of dollars for electricity. I said for bookkeeping, I think it's a good idea that it's in two different lines, so we know, what percentage maybe is used by the food pantry and what percentage is used by the fire department. And then I would feel like I'm more equipped to make a decision at that point.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I think you should send an email to the solar panel, and then nothing comes out of the town's budget. You guys just told me the food pantry is all donations.
It is.
Okay, so why don't one of these select person or Angela send a.
Because the food pantry is not a
They're
town
not a town
entity.
entity. They're
They
not,
really aren't a town
they're
entity.
not governed by the town,
Big, little town with big heart.
right, but they're
And you know
not
what?
a town
Come
entity.
behind this desk and you'll find out we are freaking maxed out.
Oh, I'm gonna tell her.
Then you're gonna know. It's not.
All right,
easy to
enough.
sit on that.
No, we're done. We'll take care of it. All right, so moving on, we will wait to hear back from, see if Jim and Helen want to come in and continue the conversation that we started with them last time. And go from there. All right, so can I get a motion to go into executive session?
Make a motion to go into executive session per MRSA
I thought we were taking a 5-minute break first, yeah.
You can.
following a 5-minute recess.
Thank you.
So,
I second taking a 5-minute recess and then going into executive session.
I have a motion and a second to go into executive session after a 5-minute recess, 405-6A for personal matter. All those in favor? Opposed? All right, 5-minute recess.
Some questions, or?